Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Raro and I will be showing you another video on factoring. In this video, I will teach you how to factor ax squared plus bx plus c when a is not 1, but this time I'm using solely the x puzzle. Okay, so before, let me show you an example of what I mean about the x puzzle. So before I was using a combination of the x puzzle and factor by grouping. So in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut that I've learned, and I know people love shortcuts, but this comes with a warning. Okay, so there could be a lot of mistakes that you could fall for if you're not doing my last steps. So let's start. So the first thing is I do my x puzzle. Okay, so I do the same thing. I perform the same idea of multiplying a times c. So a times c here is 12. All right, and in my x puzzle, I'm going to write 12 at the top and then negative 13 at the bottom. So I'm looking for factors of 12 that when I add them is equal to negative 13. Okay, so I'm thinking 12 times 1. Right? So I'm thinking negative 12 and negative 1 will do. So negative 12 and negative 1 makes positive 12 when you multiply, and negative 12 plus negative 1 is equal to negative 13. So I take that number and I divide it by the value of a. So the value of a is 3. Okay, so I take negative 12 and I divide it by 3. And then I take negative 1 and divide it by 3. And then I'm going to reduce my fractions to simplest terms. So negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. And a negative 1/3 can't be reduced. So when it can't be reduced, well, I'm going to write it down first so that you can see what I'm going to do here. So now this is my last term, so this becomes x minus 4. And since this can't be reduced, I'm going to turn this, I'm going to make 3, the denominator, I'm going to put it before the x, and then keep the numerator as my whole number. So that actually always works if you do that. So x minus 4 times 3x minus 1 is the factor. See, 3x minus 1 and x minus 4. Okay, so I'm going to try it again with the other two, and then I'll show you. I'm going to keep doing it. All right, so 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. So I'm going to do my x puzzle. And then 2 times negative 15 is negative 30. Okay, and factors of negative 30 that add up to 7. I'm thinking 10 and 3. Right, so I want it to be negative 30, so one of them has to be negative and add up to 7, so that's minus 3. Okay, then I take my 10 and I divide it by the value of a, which is 2, and that becomes 5 when I reduce it. So I now know that x plus 5 is one of my factors, and then I take the next number, negative 3, and divide it by a, and that doesn't become that's a fraction that can't be reduced anymore. So then to rewrite this as a factor, the 2 goes before the x and the minus 3 is its constant. So this is 2x minus 3. Okay, so those are my two factors, x plus 5 and then 2x minus 3. Okay. Again, this is a shortcut that I've learned before. So again, x plus 5 and then 2x minus 3. There is nothing wrong with using factor by grouping, guys. I'm just showing you an alternative way just in case you were looking for one. All right, so here's the last one. So 2 plus 7a plus 6a squared. So again, I have to multiply a times c. So I know a is 6 and I know c is 2. So that means 12 at the top and then 7 at the bottom. So factors of 12 that add up to 7 are 4 and 3. So I take my 4 and I divide it by the value of a. Be careful here, all right, because this is a. A is 6, is not 2. And then here is 3, and I divide it by 6. Okay, so now I have to reduce both. All right, they are reducible. So 4 over 6 becomes 2 over 3, and that can't be reduced anymore. But when you rewrite it as a factor, it is 3x plus 2. And then 3 over 6 is 1/2, and that is 2x plus 1. So my factors here, oh, it's replaced by a, not x. So this is 3a plus 2, and then 2a plus 1. Let's double check to see if we got the same answer. 3a plus 2, 2a plus 1. All right, so that is my little shortcut using solely the X puzzle. And why don't you try these and see if you could figure these out. All right, so pause this video and see. Okay, let's try and see if we can use this method here. So we have, let me extend the page. So we have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. I'm going to use my X puzzle. So 2 times 3 is 6 at the top, and then 7 at the bottom. So what comes to mind is 1 and 6. Okay, so now I take these two numbers, and these have to be correct in order for this puzzle to work out. So 1 and 6 make 6 when you multiply, and 1 plus 6 is 7. So I take my 1 and I divide it by a, which is 2. That doesn't reduce. So that means when I rewrite this as a factor, this is 2x plus 1. It would be wrong to say x plus 2, okay? So now the next one is 6 divided by 2, which becomes 3. All right, now when I rewrite that, I should say equals 3. So when I rewrite that, that becomes x plus 3. So these are my two factors. So the answer here would be 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. Okay? All right, now this one. So in my X puzzle, I write 6 at the top and a negative 5 at the bottom. So the numbers that come to mind would be negative 2 and negative 3. And then so I would take negative 2 divided by the value of a, and I reduce that, so that becomes negative 1/3. And since that's a fraction I can no longer reduce, I'm going to write it as a linear term. So these are called linear terms, and I should explain that sometime when we meet again. So this is 3x minus 1. Whoops, sorry. Okay, minus 1 as a factor. And then negative 3 over 6 becomes negative 1/2. So when you rewrite this, this is 2x minus 1. Okay? All right, so these are my two factors. All right, here goes my last one. So 5 times negative 12 is negative 60. And negative 60, factors of negative 60 adds up to positive 17. So I'm thinking 12 and 5. Okay, so we want it to be negative, so one of them has to be negative. So 12 and 5 doesn't look like it's going to work because it has to be a positive 17. 1 second. We've got 10 and 6. Oh, 20 and 3, right? We forgot about 20 and 3. All right, so now I could make one of them negative and equal 17. So that's negative 3 and positive 20. Okay, so together 20 and negative 3 makes negative 60. And then 20 minus 3 equals 17. So look how lovely this works because I take my 20 and then I divide it by 5. That becomes 4. So as a whole number, when I rewrite this, this becomes x plus 4. And then negative 3 over 5 is already reduced. So when I rewrite this in a linear term, this becomes 5x minus 3. All right, so these two are the factors. Okay, that is it. I hope you like this little shortcut. I'll see you guys in class. Bye.